Welcome to CareStream Dental Online Learning. By the end of this recording, you should understand using the waiting list, including marking a patient as waiting, calling a patient to the surgery, marking a patient as left surgery, checking a patient out, and modifying the waiting list settings. Marking a patient as waiting. To mark a patient as waiting, from the appointment diary, click on the waiting list icon. Next, click on the patient that has arrived for their appointment. The blue arrow indicates the patient you currently have selected. Then click on the waiting button. Patients that are on time for their appointment will be displayed as green on the screen. Patients that arrive late for their appointment will be displayed as red. An alternative way to mark patients as waiting from the appointment diary is to right-click on the appointment, and then click on Next Stage. This will move patients to the next stage in a waiting list for patients that have not yet arrived for their appointment. This will change the appointment status to waiting. Calling a patient to the surgery. Click on the waiting list icon. Click on a patient that has already arrived, and then click on Call Patient. In the bottom right-hand corner, click on the option for Open Chart. This will take you into the charting window where you can now view the patient's chart and create a treatment plan for them. For more information on creating treatment plans and using the baseline chart, please see additional training recordings. An alternative way of calling a patient into the chart from a patient's charting window are these indicators, letting you know that you have patients waiting. There is a maximum of 4 indicators, or 4 patients waiting, at the top of the window. These indicators appear as different colors. Green for a patient is on time, amber for patients that are 5 minutes late, and red for patients that are 10 minutes late for their appointment. Clicking on these icons will take you back to the waiting list. From here, you're able to select a patient and call those patients in. And, of course, open their chart. Marking a patient as left surgery. Once you have finished with a patient, to send them back to the reception desk, click on these indicators at the top of the window. Click on the patient you wish to send back to the reception desk, and then click on Left Surgery. A checkout prompt is displayed, allowing you to send information back to the reception desk. Starting at the very top, you have the ability to select the patient's next regular appointment. If the patient requires a future appointment, tick the box to say, "Please book another appointment to see me," selecting how many days, weeks, or months the patient requires. Please note this will shift the appointment diary forward for the reception desk. So if you know you need to wait for something to happen, such as lab work, enter the amount of time that needs to be shifted forward in the diary. Before the patient books their appointment, select the treatment the patient needs to come back for, and then select the duration. Beneath that, is the request to sell sundry items. If you want to prompt your reception desk to sell a sundry item that's been discussed, tick the box next to the sundry item. If you do not wish to sell any sundry items, leave all the boxes unticked. Next is the option for money is now due on a patient's account. If you require the reception desk to take a payment, tick the box. Then enter any additional information. This can be useful for additional appointments other than the one we've requested, taking deposits, or letting reception know more information about this appointment. Once all information has been entered, click OK. That information is sent to the reception desk. Checking a patient out. Once a patient has completed their appointment, and they've left the surgery, it's now time for them to be checked out. To do this, go back to the waiting list. Click on the patient that is going to be checked out, and their status is marked as left surgery. Click on the option for checkout. The checkout prompt is displayed. Starting from the top of the window, confirm you've got the correct patient's details. Then sell sundry items. If you wish to sell a sundry item, highlight the item that needs to be sold and click on Sell Sundry. The till is displayed where the patient's balance is the cost of treatment they've had done today, any outstanding balance they previously had, as well as the additional charge for that sundry item. Select how the patient is paying, and then click Pay and Exit. For more information about using the till, please see additional training recordings. Beneath Sundry Items is the option for Money, where we view the patient's account and take any additional monies. If the patient did not buy a sundry item, click on Patient Finances. The patient's account is then displayed, where you can then use the options for your tools, sundry entry invoices or printing any previous receipts. For more information about the till, please see additional training recordings. Beneath Money, we have the option for planned appointments. If the dentist has requested appointment as part of their left surgery option, an appointment is displayed. Click Paste into Diary to go ahead and book that appointment into the diary. The appointment diary will jump forward the amount of time the dentist has requested. This, of course, could take you to a day that wasn't open on your appointment diary. Using the icons at the top of the window, you're able to go forward days, weeks or months in the diary to find a suitable time for that appointment. Once you have found a space for that appointment, right-click on the appointment, then click Paste Appointment. The patient's future appointment is now booked, and today's appointment is completed. The patient has also been taken off the waiting list. Modify the waiting list settings. To open the waiting list settings, at the top of the window, click on Options. Next, click Waiting List Options. Firstly, at the top of the window, are the options for color settings, where we can change at what time patients are displayed in different colors on the waiting list. For example, earlier in this recording, you would have seen that patients are green when they arrive for their appointment, orange when they are 5 minutes late for their appointment, and red if they are 10 minutes late for their appointment. Change the colors by clicking on the colored square, and selecting different colors, and changes the times by clicking in the box and entering the time. Beneath that are the checkout prompt options where we can specify whether we want the checkout prompt to appear for reception when marking a patient as checked out. We recommend that Always Display is selected, to prevent any missed information. Once any changes have been made, click OK at the bottom of the window. To undo any changes made, click Reset to Default in the bottom left-hand corner. This will set the waiting list back to its default settings. You should now understand using the waiting list, including marking a patient as waiting, calling a patient to surgery, marking a patient as left surgery, and checking a patient out. You should also be able to modify the waiting list settings. Thank you.